Act 3 is an entirely optional section of Hollow Knight Silksong, which can only be accessed by completing the Silk and Soul quest. Just starting the quest has many requirements and then requires the collection of several items to be completed, all of which will be covered in this guide. As usual, useful timestamps can be found in the video description. First, here's an overview of the known requirements for starting the Silk and Soul quest, and I have also confirmed all of these through my own gameplay. To start, we'll need to get the Flea Caravan to its final destination in the Putrefied Ducks. We also need to complete most of the Wishboard wishes or quests in Bone Bottom, Bellhart, and Songclave, along with Shakra's final quest. Finally, we must get our personal Bellhome in Bellhart, defeat the Cogwork Dancers, learn the threefold melody, and reach the final boss of Act 2. One or more of these tasks will require unlocking all traversals, including the Fade Down Cloak or Double Jump, so I'll leave comprehensive guides for unlocking all traversals near the bottom of this video's description. I'll also put links to multiple guides on how to max out your stats and abilities in Act 2, which I highly recommend doing before going to Act 3, especially in regards to the Needle, Mask, and Eva upgrades. Now let's discuss each of the prerequisites to get the Silk and Soul quests in a little more detail, starting with the Flea Caravan Questline. After finding and rescuing 5 fleas, we can speak with Mushka and the Marrow to move the caravan to Greymoor. After rescuing 15 fleas and defeating the last judge, we can speak with Mushka and Greymoor to move the caravan near the Grand Gate. Last but not least, after rescuing 25 fleas and discovering the clean waters at the east edge of Putrefied Ducks, we can speak with Mushka near the Grand Gate to move the caravan to their final location, Fleetopia. While traveling through Putrefied Ducks, I highly recommend visiting this location to grab the Wreath of Purity tool, then going up this Barnack path to reach a specific flea by the name of Vogue. After Vogue joins the caravan, they will sell us map markers for all the fleas that we have yet to find throughout Farloom. This makes it very easy to determine exactly which fleas we have not yet found. Again though, we only need to rescue 25 of the 30 fleas to get them to Fleetopia, which is what we need in order to start the Silk and Soul quest. Moving on, let's talk briefly about the Wishboard quests in Bone Bottom, Bellhart, and Songclave. I completed all quests in Bone Bottom, then made several return trips with fast traveling in between to do all the donation quests, ending with the An Icon of Hope quest. When it comes to Bellhart, we will need to complete all quests on the Wishboard aside from the Silver Bells quest, then complete the Queen's Egg wish, delivering the egg to Styx and Sinner's Road without fast traveling and without getting hit more than 3 times during the trip. After that, a series of donation quests will become available at Bellhart. If the first one is not there, speak with Pavo until he has nothing new to say, then fast travel away and back again. Fast travel away and back again between each donation quest, and after all of those are done, Pavo should start waving at us and will give us the Bellhome key when spoken to. We can then go to unlock our own personal Bellhome. Finally, when it comes to the Songclave quests, the most important ones are those concerning Sherma and Jubilana. I'll leave links to a guide for both of those quest lines near the bottom of this video's description. The only Wishboard quests that I can confirm do not need to be completed are Silver Bells and Cloaks of the Choir. The Alchemist's Assistant and quest for the Cogwork Heart are also optional, as is the entire questline for getting the Witch Crest, though I would recommend doing all possible quests in Act 2 before going to Act 3, as some may become incompletable in Act 3. One of the last quests we will likely complete is Trail's End for Shakra. In order to get this quest, we will need to have purchased all possible maps from Shakra, which means finding her in all of her relevant locations throughout Farloom. Your map should look something like this once that has been accomplished. We will also need to do part of the threefold melody quest. This involves defeating the Cogwork Dancers boss near Songclave and using the central console that pops up afterwards. We'll then need to travel down into the Cogwork core before rising back up to the top, where we can complete a puzzle to learn the first of 3 melodies. We will then need to venture through the Whispering Vaults to reach Trobio's stage. After defeating him, we can make our way through the underbelly of the Whispering Vaults to find the Sacred Cylinder. Giving that to Vaultkeeper Cardinius and then playing it will allow us to learn the second melody. As a quick side note, we can get a special interaction with Shakra near the Conductor's melody in High Halls if we wait to do that until after completing Shakra's questline. Once we've met all those requirements, we should be able to find and accept the Trail's End quest for Shakra at the Bellhart Wishboard. Given that one of the objectives for the Silk and Soul quest is found near the destination of this quest for Shakra, and that it can be obtained before we even start the Silk and Soul quest, let's cover how to get it now as we go and complete Shakra's quest. I'm referring to the Seeker Soul, which is found in the far reaches of Bilewater. And if you have the Wreath of Purity tool, now would be a great time to equip it. I'll start by showing the path from the Bilewater Bellway to a bench and shortcut that can be unlocked near the boss that will need to be defeated, Groal the Great. Along this path, we can make a very quick and small detour to grab a remote flea in Bilewater. From the remote bench in Bilewater, we can move west briefly and break open a sack to get a memory locket, then double back the way we originally came, moving up and east. Once we reach the large open room with multiple swamp squits, we will make a quick detour from the path to the Seeker Soul in order to go complete Shakra's quest. For that, we'll want to head through the top east passage, then go through the suddenly clean water to reach Shakra in an oasis. Speaking with Shakra and playing our needle in will complete the Trail's End quest and get us the Throwing Ring tool. With that quick detour handled, we can move back into Bilewater and go through the passage to the west to reach an arena, where we will need to face multiple waves of enemies before fighting Groal the Great. I found the Stilkins and Trappers to be most easily dealt with by pogoing off them as they emerge from the muck maggot water. Also watch out for the swinging spiked ball trap in between the enemy waves. Once all enemies have been defeated, we will need to fight Groal the Great. Once again, I found Needle Pogo to be a very good strategy against him. The Conch Cutter tool is also super effective, but I didn't have it unlocked on this character. I'll go ahead and let the rest of this fight play out, but feel free to share your strategies for dealing with Groal in the comments. I'm sure someone will find it helpful. After defeating Groal, we can move a short distance west and into the hut to find the Seeker Soul. Before leaving the area, I recommend unlocking the shortcut to Putrefied Ducks. This is right next to the Huntress NPC, and she has a quest that I am unsure if it's required to get the Silken Soul quest, but I recommend doing it anyways, as it has the Long Claw tool as a reward. All we should have left to do at this point is to get the final part of the threefold song in High Halls. Since we completed Shakra's questline, she should be waiting outside the arena, and we can speak with her to get her aid in the upcoming gauntlet. After defeating all waves of enemies, we can go speak with the Conductor to unlock his melody. With a threefold song learned, we can return to the Clockwork Dancers arena and interact with the center console, then play our needle in to open the way forward. After taking the lift, we'll need to defeat a stronger version of Lace in the Cradle. Once again, I'll let this fight play out in hopes that it might help some of you watching. After defeating Lace and claiming the Silk Heart, we can head up into the Cradle and unlock the entrance for the Terminus Ventrica. At this point, we should be able to go speak with the Caretaker in Songclave to start the Silk and Soul quest. We already covered how to get this Seeker's Soul just a bit earlier in the video, so let's cover how to get the last 3 items in the list. For the Hermit's Soul, we will need to go through the secret passage east of the Bellhart Bellway station. We can then find and speak with the Hermit beneath Bellhart until he gives us his soul. The last 2 items are both near the town in Bone Bottom. We'll start by moving west until we reach the Chapel Maid, and we can speak with her to get the Maiden's soul. If you don't have the Snare Setter tool yet, it can be found within Weavenest Atla, which is along the east wall of Moss Grotto. Playing our needle in will open the entrance, and we can hit the 2 large buttons at the far upper east corner to turn the power back on. We can then take the central lift down to the inner part of Atla and climb up the east wall to reach a hidden area. Double jump will allow us to reach a hidden area within this hidden area where the Snare Setter tool is found. With all components in hand, we can return to the Caretaker of Songclave to complete the Silk and Soul quest. Doing this will set us up to start Act 3 after defeating the final Act 2 boss. For that, let's take the Ventrica to the Terminus station. This next part will just show how to get the map for the Cradle, and also a shortcut that can be unlocked back to the Terminus so that the runbacks for the final boss are faster. If this is your first time fighting the final Act 2 boss, I recommend defeating her twice to get 2 of the game's secret achievements. The first time we defeat her, we will want to hold down the bind input to get the Weaver Queen ending and achievement. This will return us right back to our previous save, and we can then go and defeat Grandmother Silk again, and this time we will play our needle in. Doing so will trigger the trap that we set and get us the Snared Silk ending and achievement. Also, because we did that, this time when we go to start up our game, the save file will appear corrupted by Void. After multiple attempts, the Void should clear and we can start playing, now in Act 3, The Abyss. The first part of this act is fairly difficult, as we will need to defeat several Abyss-modified enemies with the Hunter's Crest and no tools equipped. I'll say that the Needle Strike or Charged Attack is very useful for this challenge. Not long after that, we will be rescued by Sherma and brought to Songclave, where we can equip our favorite crest and tools. This is where Act 3 truly begins and where this video leaves off. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me in the comments, where I will do my best to help. If you want to see more great content, you can head over to my channel, and if you're new, consider subscribing. You're helping me feed my cat. Her name's Marshmallow. Have a great day. If you're here today, have a great Saturday and a great weekend. And as always, thanks for watching.